You bringing a toddler on a Disney cruise or just thinking about it? Well, we're going to talk about the expectations you need to have, what food stuff is going to be available. We're going to talk about nap time and potties
And all the things you need to know if you're bringing a toddler on a Disney cruise.
Hi, I'm Sarah. I'm your unofficial Disney Cruise Line mom. I have 4 kids, and all of my kids have been toddlers, and I still have one that's a toddler, and they have all been on Disney cruises. We've spent over 100 days on Disney Cruise Line, and I'm going to break it all down. We don't gatekeep here, so let's get started. First, number one, expectations of bringing a toddler on a Disney cruise. So, when you have a toddler, you know they can be feral. Well, maybe just mine. If yours are perfectly behaved, that's incredible. Congratulations. So mine are a little bit feral. And that means that we kind of need to stick to some of our baseline things that we do at home. So that means nap time, and it also means bedtime. So you're not going to find us out on the ship at 9 p.m. with our toddlers. It's just not going to happen. They are going to bed probably around 7, like they do at home. That also means we're going to get an earlier dining time so that we can maintain those things. It also means that we might miss a show. In order not to miss a show, we might miss dinner and do dinner on the pool deck so that we can see the show. Okay? So manage expectations. Like you've got a toddler with you, they're not going to change for your ship. Like they're not going to change for a vacation. They're just not. I wish they would, but mine have never like turned into vacation mode and have just been like perfect happy campers 100% of the time. Now, I will say like we typically have a great experience because we keep them on their schedules. So we don't mess with their schedules, they don't mess with us. So there's your first tip. Now, let's back up and talk about age requirements. So on a Disney cruise, there are age requirements for babies, but for toddlers, there's not. But there are certain areas where toddlers may run into age requirements. So a toddler in my book is anywhere between 1 or walking and 3. And so for Disney, you can have a 3-year-old in both the nursery and the kids club. The nursery does cost, it is $9 an hour as of making this, which is July of 2025. But they can also go to their kids club if they are potty trained. Now, if you have a child that is not potty trained because of a disability, that is a different story. So, but if they are 3 and younger, they can go in the nursery and you pay $9 an hour, or if they're 3 and potty trained, they can go to the kids club. So age requirements, that is the only area where there are age requirements except for excursions, which are excursion by excursion base. Now, a lot of times excursions will say like 3 and up, but if you go to the port excursions desk on any of the Disney ships, you can further ask and say, hey, I know this is 3 and up, but are kiddos under 3 allowed and are free? So a lot of times the kids under 3 are free and they can go on these excursions, but they don't like highlight it that way. So that's the only age requirements that exist on Disney ships. Okay, let's talk about what Disney provides. So when you're on a ship with your toddler, you may, like if you're going anywhere else, you're probably packing a bunch of stuff. But with Disney, you do not need to pack a high chair or a booster seat. They have both, depending on the size of your child and the situation. And they have in the room, they have bed rails if your kid is going to sleep on the bunk. They have a higher bunk and a lower bunk. And they also have pack and plays that they provide to you free of charge. All you have to do is list on your reservation that you would like a pack and play or you'd like bed rails. And if you have extra room in your stateroom and you want to try out bed rails, but you want to have a pack and play as a backup, you can do both. So that is a great option. You can also get a diaper genie in your room if that is something that you need, because toddlers are a mix, you know, sometimes toddlers are potty trained and sometimes they're not, depending on the age of the toddler. That's what makes them a toddler. Now let's move into activities. On Disney Cruise Line, there are so many different activities for a wide range of kids and kids' ages. So for toddlers specifically, we are talking the splash pad. That is my number one favorite activity for my toddlers, because they are happy, they have slides there, they have water there. This is where my kids live on a Disney cruise ship, is the splash pad. There is also open houses for the kids clubs, specifically for toddlers, called Toddler Time, where you can bring your toddler and they can run around and play, and they have like little like toddler toys, and they get to play with the other stuff in the room, in like the kids club room. A lot of times it's in Andy's room, so it's got the Toy Story theme and it's just a lot of fun. My next favorite activity with toddlers, and this can be an activity for fun or it can be for nap time, and that is the deck 4 promenade. On many of the ships, it goes all the way around. On the newer ships, it does not go all the way around, but it is just a fun place for toddlers to get out their energy and run around and have so much fun with an adult. So this is one of the places that our family spends a lot of time. I'll put up a clip here to show you what it's like with our family on deck 4, but we just have a lot of fun with our kids there running around and getting the energy out. And then finally, my last favorite activity with toddlers is the dance parties. There are character dance parties, Disney Junior dance party, there's deck parties, all of these like shows, interactive experiences where there's characters involved. So much fun with toddlers. Oh, and character meet and greets also just like chef's kiss, best thing ever with toddlers. If your toddler's not scared of characters. If you have a scared of characters toddler, maybe not, but if your toddler is into the characters, it is just, I don't know, there is nothing like magic of meeting a character on a cruise ship. Okay, moving on to nap time. If your toddler still naps, naps can be really difficult with this age on a cruise ship because toddlers are wanting to go, go, go until they like can't, and then it's meltdown city, at least for mine. So with my toddlers, we try a variety of different things depending on which kid is with us. So we've had a kid that does not want to be worn in a carrier. I've had other kids that love to be worn in a carrier. So that's like my first strategy is bring a baby carrier if your toddler still allows that. Second is the stroller. This one we find the most advantageous with toddlers is they're okay to fall asleep in a stroller. So this can be going around deck 4, just walking around and getting them to nap there so that you can kind of hang out in that space. And then finally, like you can just take them to the room and take a nap. Or you can utilize the nursery. And this can be a great thing if your kiddo is under 3 and not potty trained. You can send them there for nap time. It can be tricky because if they are fighting sleep or if they're not comfortable with, like if they're not comfortable with the daycare setting, this can be a little bit rougher. But if your kiddo is comfortable with that, it can be a great option so that you can put them down for a nap and go do whatever it is you want to do. Now, on the topic of naps, especially when we're talking about in the room, if you have an ocean view or a veranda room, you may be wondering like, does it get dark enough? And the answer is yes. The shades in the rooms that have windows or verandas are blackout shades. So it will get dark. You do not have to worry about that. It is not an issue. And in the inside staterooms, especially on the Dream and the Fantasy, they have the magic portholes. You can turn those magic portholes off if that is something that you need turned off for nap time. Okay, let's go a little bit deeper into the nursery and the kids club. So like we mentioned earlier, if your child is potty trained and age 3, they can go to the kids club. Let's dig a little bit deeper into the kids club though. So if they are 3 and potty trained and in the kids club, they will not be roaming the kids club like all the other big kids. 3 and 4-year-olds are kind of clumped together like a little pod or a little tribe, and they make their way through the kids club together as a group with their like counselors or cast members, whatever we want to call them, crew members. They kind of lead them through the kids club and they do activities together, they'll do games together, and so they're kind of like in a more structured setting where the older kids, the 5, 6, 7, whatever, they are kind of on their own doing whatever the heck they want to do. So this may be an interesting experience if you have more than one kiddo in the kids club at the same time. So for example, we might have a 5-year-old and a 4-year-old, and they are not going to be playing together unless the 5-year-old joins the 4-year-old wherever that little pod is hanging out. So they can come like see them. It's not like they're like completely isolated, but the 4 and 3-year-olds are together and they are migrating through that experience together. And they will have opportunities to do crafts and do games and music and all the things that you want them to be doing in the kids club. So that's just something to know. Now in the nursery, you're going to have a very different experience. So in the kids club, they are going to be doing that and they're not serving food. Where in the nursery, you can send in prepackaged food. You can send in like their drinks and they are like hanging out. It is like a daycare environment, not like in a bad way at all. But they are doing all the things. They are changing diapers. They are doing it all. Where the kids club, the expectation is for the kids to be more independent. And so the counselors, or whatever you want to call them, the crew members, are going to ask the children if they need to go to the bathroom and tell them to go to the bathroom, but they are not physically going to take them and help them in the bathroom. Does that make sense? They might have someone waiting outside and making sure those kids wash their hands, because they take that very, very seriously. There's so many hand washers in the kids club, but they're not changing diapers or anything like that in the kids club. So back to the nursery. In the nursery, it's not a free-for-all, but they are, feeding your kids if you want them to. They might be giving them a plethora of options for snack. They might be doing activities, but it is more low-key. There's no really pods in the nursery. They are doing whatever they're interested in. So it's kind of like the big kids in the kids club. So it's just a very different environment, but it's structured based on the child's age and development. So it's just something to know. On to dining. So you're going to dinner with your kiddo, your toddler, and you might be wondering, okay, so do I need to bring my own cups? What do I need to bring with me for this experience? So Disney will provide cups with a lid on them. And for the most part, toddlers do a pretty good job with this, unless you have like an early young toddler that is like pulling crap out and spilling stuff or intentionally dumping the water out, because we have one of those. We've had actually many of those. So we opt to bring our own cups that have lids, that are like their water bottles that we take everywhere, because it's just easier for our family. Now, in the dining room, they're probably going to make a mess. If you still do bibs, I recommend doing bibs or having a stain stick remover on hand or laundry detergent, because it's kind of a free-for-all. In the best way. Like, this is the perfect opportunity for you to let your kids try new foods, to let them experience everything that Disney has to offer, and that may mean making a mess. And that's okay. No one is going to bat an eye if your child makes a mess, because it is just part of the experience. And I don't mean like let your child go wild, but it happens. Kids are messy, and if they're eating spaghetti, it's going to be messy. So we just let them try new things, and we prepare accordingly. So we bring a stain stick and wear bibs and do what we need to do. Also on the dining front, like I mentioned earlier, there is late dining that happens after 8 p.m. and then there is early dining that happens around 5:30, 5:45. Now with little kids, with toddlers, if your toddler goes to bed early, this might mean you should do dining early. Now, if you have extra hands on deck, or if you want to put your child in the nursery, you may want to feed them, on the deck, or do room service and send them to the nursery so that you can have dinner if you're doing late dining. I just find with our littles, they cannot hang for that late dining. So it's not worth it to us. We'd rather have them in bed, so we put them to bed. Also, Disney provides the booster seat. They provide cups with tops. They have kids menus. They have crayons that they provide for entertainment. And then a lot of the ships have onboard entertainment for meals. Not all meals, but most meals. So we're talking Marvel, which may be interesting just because it's got screens on it. You've got Animator's Palette that also has screens on it. You have the shows, whether that's Coco or Rapunzel's or Tiana's. There's a lot going on in most of those dining rooms. Now, each ship does have a low-key dining room. And so that's just something to be aware of, that when you're on the ship, that there may be a dining room that they're not going to have like full-fledged entertainment. And so you will have to be like more engaged with your toddler, but you're used to that because that's every day. Now, one thing that can help expedite the experience is when you get to the dining room, you order your toddler's food right up front so that they're eating, and when they're done eating, this is our family strategy, is we take them to the kids club or to the nursery as soon as they're done, and it's usually before like we get our main course. So usually we get our appetizers with their meal, we feed them while we eat, and then we take them to the kids club, to the nursery, so that we can enjoy the rest of our dinner. Yes, it does cost money to send them to the nursery. I don't care. I like the fact that I can have a meal in peace without my kiddos sometimes. And this is a really nice treat for everybody involved because the kids have a great time in the nursery or the kids club. Well, I think that covers dining. Let's move on to ports. So ports and toddlers are a whole thing. And I did not realize what a whole thing it was because we had not taken our kids to many adventurous places until this year. But we had done, we had taken a baby to Alaska. We have taken all of our kiddos to multiple places around the Caribbean. We did the Panama Canal with toddlers. It was great. And then we tried Europe. And let me just say that toddlers and history are not the best of friends. And I don't recommend doing historic tours, extensive historic tours with toddlers, without managing expectations of what that's going to look like. What I mean by that is if you want to hear the historic tour, you need to bring some entertainment for the toddler. Period. So we have kind of pivoted our strategy when we go to more historic places or places that are not as adventurous. So places that are not in nature, like hiking or beaches or that sort of thing. If it's more cultural or historic in nature, we're going to do culture and history with children, littles, through playgrounds and just on our own, just embracing the local culture, eating and just being there and playing in the city. We are not going to try to do every tour. We might try to do one or two big things. So when we were in Barcelona, we did take our kids to Sagrada Familia and they did great. But we really prepped them on that well in advance. But we're not going to try to do all the things. We're not going to get on a bus that is a historic tour, like the hop on, hop off, we're trying to listen to somebody talk about the whole place. No, we're not taking toddlers to Rome with the expectation, absolutely, we might go to these places, but we're not going to go with the expectation that we're going to go spend a ton of time in the Colosseum, because that's just not realistic with our family dynamic with our toddlers. Now, I can't speak for everyone, so your family dynamic may be totally different, but we find with our toddlers that they want to play, and that's what they want to do. And that's okay, and we have the best time playing with them and embracing wherever it is we are with them, playing where we're getting to know other people and the locals, and we're just there. So it does not mean that you're that you shouldn't travel with little kids. You should absolutely still travel. You just have to change up what you expect to get out of the experience, because it will be different. It won't be less, it'll just be different. Okay, so what do you need to bring with you when you bring a toddler on a Disney cruise? Well, you definitely need to bring diapers if they're not potty trained, and nighttime diapers, daytime diapers, and swim diapers, because you need them. And with all of that, you probably will need wipes, diaper cream, whatever else fits into that category. Second, you're going to need sunscreen. You're going to spend a lot of time outside, and the Bahamas, Caribbean, if you're going to that area, it's sunny and you will get burned. Trust me, I'm still dealing with a burn from April, and it is now almost August. I still have a nice line on my legs of where I forgot sunscreen on my little ankle while I was getting everybody else done. So, sunscreen. You're also going to need a stain stick or laundry detergent, because you will be doing laundry, because your kid is probably going to make a mess and stain some clothes. Cup or little utensils if your kiddo still is using utensils independently. We like to bring our own because Disney doesn't have tiny utensils. And finally, snacks. Snacks. Yes, you can get food all over the ship, but if you're going on excursions or you have toddlers, they're snacking all the time. So it may be in your best interest to pack a few pre-packaged snacks that don't need refrigeration. Things like pouches or protein bars or maybe some crackers of some sort. We always have a few extras of those that we put in a drawer just in case we need to pull something out at a whim, that we don't have to wait for food, that we've got a few things on hand for our toddlers. So that about covers it. So if you go back, you'll see the one on babies. This is toddlers. And let me know in the comments what you'd like to see next. Subscribe for more, and we'll see you next time. Bye, y'all.